Good morning, everybody. I'm going to give us a couple of minutes to have some join us. I know others will catch us on YouTube in a little while. But good morning. I am Rabbi Jenni Greenspan. I'm the assistant rabbi for Congregation Beth-El here in Indianapolis. And it is time, now that Chagim, the Passover holiday, are past us, to go back to our Thursday morning creating with Rabbi Jenni. You might be able to tell from all of my yarn behind me. I love doing art and creativity, so I am excited to get to do this with the community again. I'm going to wait and see if a couple of others join us. And today I'm going to try to do a family-friendly project, a project that we can adapt for all different ages, and that I think is an important and really relevant project for all of us right now. While we are blessed, most of our members are blessed to be able to stay home, even if some of our family members might still be working in essential services. We have the blessing of, for the most part, we have the blessing of having enough. And so today, we are actually going to take materials from around our homes and create tzedakah boxes so that we also remember that when we are blessed, we do our best to share our blessing and to spread righteousness and justice and bounty to all others. So we're going to make tzedakah boxes. I'm going to give us a couple of minutes to see if any others want to join us. And I am using very, very simple materials. I have construction paper, which if you don't have construction paper, you can use regular plain white printer paper. I have colored pencils and crayons. I have scissors and glue stick. And I have an old tissue box. It's a little bit bigger than most tzedakah boxes might usually be, but this is the box that I have with me today. So this is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to give us a couple of minutes, see if any others want to join us. But for the moment, if you want to do a craft along with me, all you need is some paper, some scissors, some glue or tape, and a box around your house that you're not using anymore, left over from something else. Like I said, I'm using a tissue box. You could probably use the box that I keep my business cards in is a good size too. Whatever box you might happen to have around that you don't need anymore and you can now repurpose for a higher cause, for something, a greater mitzvah. We're going to repurpose what used to be a tissue box into a reminder of the humanity of all people. We can always, in Judaism, we can always ma'alin b'kodesh, rise things up and make them holier than they were before. So I see I've got a few logged on, and I'm going to go ahead and start so that you can either do along with me or catch up later. So like I said, I'm using an old tissue box. It's a little big, but that's what I've got at the moment, and we're going to use what we have to share what we have. So I'm going to use a tissue box, and I'm going to decorate it. I'm going to do on one side, I'm going to do day, and on the other side, I'm going to do kind of a nighttime theme. The hardest and easiest step at the same time is getting your paper that you're going to use as your background to be the right size. So it's easy to get a little bit off, but it's also easy to adjust later. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to adjust my camera so you can see my work surface a little bit. Is I'm going to lay the side that I want onto the paper that I want to use as my base. And I'm going to move these out of the way so you can see the actual edge of the paper I'm using. And I'm going to go not quite to the corner. I'll leave myself a little bit of wiggle room over here. And then I'm just going to take my pencil and trace about the right size on the other sides. It's not a perfect line, but my scissors will help. And I'm going to cut as straight a line as I can. And cut the other way. So that's one of my bigger sides. And now I already have the base size for the other of my bigger size, so I don't even need to trace again. I can actually use this paper. as my guide for my other side. So I'm going to do a light blue one on one side and a dark blue on the other side to kind of be daytime and nighttime. As a reminder that tzedakah, the mitzvah of caring for others, of doing charity, has no correct time of day. It can be day, it can be night. Any time that we can think about others is a good time to be sharing what we have. And I'm going to cut it. Okay, so now I have my two surfaces to decorate however I want. And this is the part where everybody can be as creative as they want and do any kind of thing. On my day side, I wrote them. They might be kind of hard to see, but I wrote in pencil the Hebrew letters that spell tzedakah. And I'm now going to cut them out so I can glue them on. And I'm just going to do the tzadi for right now, just so that the video is, because you'll get the idea. And then I'll finish and post the pictures later. So here's the tzadi. And on the tzadi, the Hebrew letter tzadi is the first letter of the word tzedakah. Where did my glue go? Here's my glue. And I'm just using a good old glue stick. And I'm going to put it on the back of my tzadi. And I'm going to glue it down. And I would do the same with the rest of my letters. I'll do that later and show everybody later. So now that's one way you could decorate, is cutting out shapes and gluing them down. Another, of course, is just good old crayons. Let's draw. So I said this was going to be my daytime side of my tzedakah box. So I'm going to use some orange and some yellow and some green. And how about some purple, because it's kind of close to the color I use for my letters. And I'm going to draw the sun. And the orange and yellow. We've got our beautiful sun rays all over my light blue sky. Sun. And I'm going to put some grass down here. And whatever you would want on your box, this is the part that's completely creative, completely up to you. You don't have to do daytime and nighttime like I'm doing. You could do a picture of your family to remind you of how important family is and that you should take care of other families too. You could do animals. You could do a house. You could do any kind of things that you would want on your tzedakah box that is that can be a reminder to you of how important it is to care for others and to share what you have with other people. Like I said, I'm doing day and night to remind me that there is no wrong time for doing tzedakah. So I'm going to do the rest of this side actually, so that there's one quick complete side, and then I'll share what the other side, what my thoughts for the other side are. Here's my daled. Kuf is a little bit harder because it's got two pieces. So does Hey. So there are 4 letters in the word tzedakah: Tzadi, Daled, Kuf, and Hey, which comes from the same root as our name of our synagogue, Beth-El Zedek. We can hear that same word there. And it means both, it means righteousness. The root Zedek means righteousness and justice. And often when we think about doing tzedakah, is we want to share our bounty so that everybody gets to experience justice in the world. So it's not only charity, it's not just donating money, though that is what a tzedakah box will help us do, is set aside our money to donate for righteous causes and making sure that other people can experience justice. But any action that we do to make sure that there's more justice in the world can also be a form of tzedakah, a form of doing righteousness and justice. Right now, when we're all at home to protect ourselves, actually, even just staying at home is part of doing tzedakah right now. It's part of what we need to do to keep everybody healthy and safe. But we can also make sure that right now we're using our time to remember that not everyone is able to do the same things as easily. So on Shabbat, I mentioned an opportunity to do chesed, to do kindness by sharing our food bounty, but we can also share our monetary bounty and make sure that others can buy the food that they need for their family. I'm going to put some birdies here. So here's my daytime side. Here's my daytime side. We've got a little says tzedakah. We've got the sun and some birds and a little flower on the lighter blue. And now the example, I'll just do one piece on the nighttime side for now. And I'm going to do more like I did the word tzedakah. And I'm going to cut out a moon shape. And this time I didn't draw it. I'm going to try freehanding it. We're going to see how it goes. Because not everything in art has to be careful and planned out. Sometimes it can just be a little bit fun. I'm going to try to make a moon here. It's sort of a circle shape. I folded a little square in half, and I'm going to try to make it a circle, kind of a half circle. It's hard to see if the yellow paper is still underneath. I made a little half circle, and then when I open it up, it's close to a circle, sort of. And now I'm going to cut a chunk out of it to make a moon. And hopefully it doesn't come out looking too much like Pac-Man, but Pac-Man's good too, if you know who Pac-Man was. Some of our younger viewers might not know who Pac-Man was. That's okay. So there's a little moon. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to cut some little points to try to make some stars. The nice thing about stars is they don't really all look the same. They're not really always perfect little points with 5 stars or 5 points or 6 points or 8 points or however many points. So I'm just kind of cutting some little points. In here, I'll glue down. See, that's not a very perfect star, but it's a good shape anyway. And this one, the moon, and I'm going to do a total of 11 stars because that'll also remind me of the story from our Torah of Joseph and his dream where he sees a moon and 11 stars. So I will do a total of 11 stars, but I'm not going to do them all right now on camera because that could be a little bit boring for us all to watch. But there's my nighttime side, or a start of it. So now I'll do the end, the final piece. It's simple. We made both of these sides pretty close to the right size of my old tissue box here. So I'm just gonna put some glue all over the back. I'm going to lay my box onto it and press it down. And remember, I did cut it slightly bigger because I wanted to be able to trim, because it's sometimes easy with this sort of thing to have the size come out slightly too small and then you would still see the edges. So I did it slightly too big. If I want to decorate the shorter sides, then I would probably trim off a little bit of the edge just so it's not hanging in the way. But I think for now, I actually kind of like the little orange circles that the Kleenex box already had. So I am going to just let them be. The other thing to remember when you're gluing your sides on, when you're gluing your decorated sides on, is just to make sure that that you're right side up. So like my tissue box already has an opening, so I know that that's the top, so I have to make sure that I put the top of my design at the top of my box before I glue it together. If you have stronger glue than just a glue stick, then this part might be a good time to use it. But a glue stick should work just fine, or some tape just to stick your signs on and decorate your beautiful tzedakah box. I'm going to move back up so you can see me. So like I said, this is a project that could be all kinds of different materials in your house. I used crayons and construction paper. You can use regular paper and pencils and just draw. You could, if you have pom-poms and buttons and those sorts of things, you could use tacky glue, which is a stronger glue, to glue those onto your box and decorate them in that way. Any way that you want, you can take any old box that you have and create a lovely tzedakah box. I think right now we all need the reminder that we still have the power to bring more justice and beauty into the world. So I hope you can have fun creating a tzedakah box. And of course, once you have your box, you have to take out some tzedakah and put it into your box. And when your box is all full, as a family, you can sit down together and decide where you want to donate your collected tzedakah to. It might be to making sure that people have enough food and enough clothing. It might be to make sure that animals have enough homes. Whatever place that you might want to donate your tzedakah to will be perfect. Hope you have some fun creating a tzedakah box today. You can use any old box, big Kleenex box, a little business card box, any box that you find around your house. I hope you all have fun and that we do all remember the special mitzvah of giving it tzedakah, even at this time when we're seeing mostly our family. And I'll say an early Shabbat Shalom. We look forward to seeing you for all kinds of things coming up here on our virtual Beth-El events on Saturday morning for our very young families at 9 o'clock. We will have our first virtual Tot Shabbat on Zoom, and we will have at 10 o'clock Torah Talk, and 10:30 we will have Shabbat Chance Encounters with Cantor Melissa, and of course we'll have all kinds of other events with Cantor Melissa and with Rabbi Dennis and with me throughout the weeks ahead. So keep watching our channel, and I look forward to creating again next week. Next week I'll probably pick something a little bit more complicated, but one of my favorite fun things to do. And an early Shabbat Shalom, and I will see you soon.